Hey everybody, Keith Evelyn here again with another episode of Entrepreneurship Simplified. Thanks for joining. If you've listened so far to the other episodes, thank you for that. If you haven't, go ahead and jump back and take a listen to those anytime you get a chance. There's some really good information there, especially the one that I had with my buddy Neil Meyer about digital marketing. So today I wanted to talk about bootstrapping. So starting a business with little to no money. It's really, really hard to do no money. Again, I'll share specifically one time I tried to do that with some limited success, but I'm going to talk more about like just trying to figure out how to make it work with what you have. So typically when people come up to, I have a lot of friends that will bring their business ideas to me because they know that I've started several businesses and they're like, hey, I got this idea. What do you think about X? A lot of the times when they do that, they are extremely high cost startups. So I have one friend who likes to give me all these ideas about different things that you can invent, which is great. I mean, people need to do that. We need the Elon Musks of the world to figure out how to make a rocket that can land itself so it's reusable, right? That is not my forte, but also it takes a lot of cash to do that, right? Anytime you talk about inventing and having to produce something and find somebody who can build it, make it, then distribute it, there's a lot of cost in that. And if you have a lot of money, or if you can get a lot of money from private investors, that's not necessarily a end all be all for it. You could potentially move forward with that. The problem is when you have a new idea, you've never done business before, and you want to try to go get money. It's very, very hard. Everybody says that you can go to the SBA, Small Business Administration, and get loans, and you can. But the reality is, and the honest truth is, if you're brand new in business, even they won't likely lend you money. I've never successfully gotten a loan. I don't know that I've ever really even tried, just because I knew that I couldn't. But it's very hard to have a brand new business idea and say, hey, I got this idea, give me some money. Because, if you're the bank, you're banking on someone's idea, not reality, right? They want to know that there's something secure in their collateral, whether it's, trucks, a building, some sort of physical asset, or, you have a track record of success that makes them feel like they're going to be able to get paid back, not just gambling on somebody who has an idea. So that's where bootstrapping comes in. And oftentimes when I'm advising people about bootstrapping is, you have a limited amount of income, limited amount of savings that you can put into something, invest into something to create this new venture. So most of the time what I tell people is, hey, let's start some sort of side hustle. Side hustle means that you're not reliant on getting any income out of that. Hopefully, you're able to do whatever your full-time gig is that can take, and pay all your bills for you. So you're not stressed about that, but you have a little bit of savings that you can just redeploy into something else, which would be this new business. And again, oftentimes that type of business is some sort of service-based business, because again, if we're selling some sort of widget, if I'm selling pens, I'm going to go buy the pens, right? Even if I don't have to manufacture them, I have to find them, buy them, put them on a website, pay to advertise them, get them out there, or do, tons and tons of social media stuff, trying to get some sort of viral video that I can then use to sell these pens. It's hard. That's very hard to do, because unless you have a lot of capital, it's tough. If it's a service, so I'm going to come clean your house. I'm pretty handy. I can come put in a new door for you. I can install a ceiling fan for you. Stuff like that, where there's not a whole lot of cost. I mean, most of the time, you'll either have a lot of the tools that you need for the trade already, or you can get them for relatively inexpensive, and you can launch, right? You have to, setting up an LLC so that way you're protected. If you don't do it with some sort of LLC and something goes wrong, somebody can sue you personally instead of the business. But so I would always suggest setting up some sort of business entity. Set up an LLC, filing with the state, set up a bank account. You can do that for, under $1,000. Even if you're paying somebody to help you, you can do all that for under $1,000. So, that's a little bit of money invested, but again, you're protected. And then, whatever tools you need. So if I decide I'm going to go clean pools, I'm going to need chemicals. I'm going to need tools that I can, because at my house, I have the pump that's built into the pool itself, but I'm likely not going to want to use that as a pool professional. I'm going to need some sort of apparatus that I can get off my truck, go clean the pool, add the chemicals, away we go, right? On to the next job. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to invest some amount of money, typically not a whole lot. So that's why I really like these service-based business, specifically home-based service businesses, because it's easy to start it as a side hustle. You can advertise in Facebook groups that you have this offering to get your first clients. You can advertise on, you can start a Google business profile and start posting on there regularly so that people can actively search for the service and find you. There's a lot of different ways that you're not going to get thousands of customers like this, but there's a lot of different ways that you can use inexpensive or free forms of advertising of social media and Google business profile to get your first clients and kind of slowly start to build your business. And then as that works, then you can step into like Google guaranteed ads, and you can do Google ads. You can have a website built. You can have all search engine optimization. You can do paid Facebook ads if you want to. There's all sort of different things that as you start to grow and build this into a much bigger side hustle, which will hopefully then overtake the income that you have coming in from your full-time gig, and you can jump or you can run them simultaneously. I know many people who start some sort of home service business and decide that they're just going to keep their full-time job. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You can still scale it up. You can hire employees. You can hire contractors, go do the work for you, and pocket the money that comes in, and then reinvest as needed into more supplies, more tools, and then obviously advertising as you continue to grow. So it is possible. It takes some work, right? The biggest amount of work is the fact that you're working a full-time job. In the scenario that I'm laying out, you're working a full-time job and you're also working a side gig. So you're having to put in extra hours after work. So, there is some sacrifice that goes from time with family, time with friends, phone call ringing late at night type stuff. But if you have the entrepreneurial mindset and you really want to get started, this is a great way to do that with relatively low risk. If you can risk $5,000 to $10,000 and get something like this started, it really is a relatively low risk way to see if you can make a go of it. And I've seen many people have success doing it this way. I've helped several people have success doing it this way. And again, it's kind of the best of the options when it comes to bootstrapping. Again, I'll share my story about how I started with literally $0 and got up to 5 figures in probably about 6 weeks, sometime soon. But yeah, this is my episode about bootstrapping. If you're interested in talking about it more, I'm happy to talk to anybody. If you hear this podcast and you're like, hey, yeah, I'd like to get a little bit more information about how you use Google Business Profile, for example, feel free to reach out. You can reach us on the website. You can fill out one of those forms. You can email us at podcast@boxedbiz.us. Happy to talk to you and answer any questions that you might have. Again, thanks for watching today, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right, that's a wrap for today's episode. Your next step, take what you've learned today and put it into action. Now, if this episode gave you something to think about, do me a favor and leave a review, or share it with someone you think needs to hear it. And if you have any thoughts, let's continue this discussion. You can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Let's simplify entrepreneurship together. We'll see you on the next one.